All right, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, July 26th, 2022. Let's go ahead and jump into our pre-market. There's really not much to do this morning, to be perfectly honest with you, since the S&P has not really moved outside of the previous daily range. So the market never broke out of Friday's range, and we were just playing around inside of all of Friday's price action, and now in the overnight session, we've been bouncing around in a very tight 10, 15 point channel here within Monday's price action. So it just continues to constrict here. You could even kind of look at it like we're starting to get a little bit of a channel or a triangle here, and things are definitely constricting. So there's got to be some type of breakout here. I mean, there doesn't have to be. Nothing has to happen in the market, but at some point, this is going to have to break down through the lows of yesterday and the low of Friday, or we're going to break up to the other side of things. And that's really all we can expect to happen here this morning. Remember, I said yesterday on Monday's broadcast, we have the FOMC announcement on Wednesday. So there is a potential that until we get that announcement on Wednesday, we could be fairly sideways and choppy. And sure enough, yesterday, very sideways and choppy. There was really nothing sexy that set up for a trade. We tried one or two things off our OPL, nothing worked. And then in the overnight session, we've sat here and bounced back and forth. So all the levels we talked about yesterday are still in play. If we can get up through the high of yesterday or the high of the overnight session from yesterday, which, if you remember, was kind of our line in the sand to the upside, then we have all the same targets up above that I mentioned yesterday, and basically all the same levels I've been talking about for probably a week or two, or if not longer. And then on the other side of things here, if the market can come down and break through Friday's low, notice the low of yesterday was just about 1 point in front of our minor eye level at 39.45. In fact, what's happened here is we've came up, we hit 40.16, which was one of our levels, came down, hit 4,006, came down, and then we came back up and came right to that major retracement level at 88 that we've been watching, and we failed and made a low right off of our eye level at 45. And now you can see here, just coming into the pre-market session, we're holding right around that 45. In fact, it just bounced once again, one tick in front of the minor eye level at 45. So until we can break out down through the bottom end, there's not going to be much to do in here. And if we can get down through the lows of, let's see, go back to, yeah, the low of Friday was basically our 39.40 eye level. And so if we can break down through 45, break down through 40, you should know the game plan from there. We were talking about this yesterday, looking to target down into that major retracement at 39.22 and our major eye level at 16.5. Any further from there, we have all the same levels down below us. We have the major retracements that I mentioned yesterday, and I think I added in one new retracement level, and that is right here at 38.95. So we've got the 38.95 level, and then I've added in, if you zoom all the way back to this major swing where we came up and failed back on, July 13th there, that area to me looks fairly, and the fact that it's sitting right near the major eye level, it's also sitting right near the other major push up into that level and failure from there. So just looking from a zoomed out perspective, you can't really see it on a 10-minute, but when you zoom out to the higher time frames, you see that that really sticks out there at 38.73. And then again, we do happen to have the minor eye level at 75, and then the major retracement a few points below that 73 level at 70. So there's like a little 5 point, in fact, I'll go ahead and shade this here. There is a little 5 point pocket that would make sense to be a area of support coming into this morning. So let me add that to all my charts, lock it in place. So we've got that 70 to 75 area there. And outside of that, all the other levels are the same levels that I talked about yesterday. And I wasn't here last week, so maybe I haven't mentioned these in maybe a week and a half, but everything else down below us here is all the same levels what we've been talking about. So no need to mention them. You should have them on your chart or at least be aware of them. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to swing up to the daily and we'll dial down to the 60-minute. But like I said, there really is nothing new to add to the picture this morning. So let's look at the daily chart here. I'll get rid of that little triangle I drew earlier here. You can see it's definitely constricting like that. But let me see. For some reason, I cannot select the level to delete it. And that's typical. Okay. So on the daily, remember, on Friday's high back on July 22nd, we got a bearish divergence on the daily. So ever since Friday's close, coming into Sunday's Globex, coming into Monday, coming into Tuesday here, the expectation from such a strong daily signal is that we would start to pull back. And then the question really becomes, how strong are the bears going to be in this pullback that we're getting right now? And so far, the bears haven't been able to get very far, right? We came down on Monday, couldn't quite get through 39.40, 39.45, and now in our overnight session here, we are slowly coming down to that 45 level again. So, are the bears going to have enough strength to get a deeper pullback? The signal would indicate a pullback. We just don't know how far it's going to get. Outside of that, the daily doesn't have any other signals that would give us a clue as to what we could expect to happen coming into this morning. Obviously yesterday's candle there on the daily, huge doji, very ambivalent. There's really nothing I could interpret from that, unless we can go ahead and appreciably break through the low of yesterday or get up through the high of yesterday, which was that wick on either side. So let's go down. The 4-hour also, remember, had the bearish signal from the high of Friday up right off of our major level there at 40.16. And then we came down going into the overnight session on Sunday's Globex going into Monday night. Well, actually, that was more Sunday Globex, Sunday afternoon. We did get a 4-hour bullish signal, and the market did bounce up about 40 points, 40, 50 points. We got the high of yesterday, which was again in the overnight session right off of our major retracement level there. In fact, yeah, I believe it was in the overnight session when that was tagged. And then we got another 4-hour bullish signal on the pullback yesterday. So as the market sold off into the close, we technically have another 4-hour bullish signal from there. So again, it's just the same thing as yesterday, because when we came in yesterday, it was the same thing, 4-hour bullish signal from the lows with the daily and the 4-hour and the 60-minute bearish signal from the high of Friday. And so this morning, same thing, 4-hour bullish signal from the low of yesterday and the low of the Globex session from Sunday, and then all those bearish signals up off of Friday's high. So again, are they going to break down through these lows and come down lower? If they do, we've got all of our targets down below us. Or are the bulls going to continue to hold this up in this really tight channel and get a bullish breakout to the upside? And to be honest with you, it can go either way. I would expect there to be a pullback a little bit deeper. But we do have these two strong 4-hour signals from all the lows we've been making for a day and a half. So we'll see what happens here. Like I said, we've got our plan. I'll go down to the 60-minute chart. If those lows do break from the lows of yesterday, the lows of Friday, we're targeting down to that major retracement level and our major eye level, 16.5 to 22, and then all the other levels down below us if we do continue to break lower. On the flip side, going up through the high of Friday and coming up higher here, all the levels that are up here, again, have been mentioned over and over again, and there's really not much else to add. So if we can get through the high of Friday, each of these levels that we have up above us could very well be resistance points. And we see it happen all the time, even when there are a lot of levels kind of scrunched together, every 3 or 4 points, every 5 points. We still see the market come up right into a level, fail off of it, and then slowly inch up right to the next level, and then fail from there, and then slowly inch back up and fail from the next level in a very, let me go here to this. Why isn't this working? Like a very stair step, just bam, hits one level, gets the pullback, does whatever, comes back up, hits the next level. You get the idea, right? And pulls back, and then bam, eventually comes up, hits the next level, and it tags it almost exactly. So don't be surprised if the market does somehow break out through the high of Friday to come to like 40.23 here, and then the whole bottom drops out and it fails from there. Or again, each of these levels as we go. So that's really it. I wish we had a little bit more of an active market as of yesterday, but there really hasn't been much to do. In fact, I urged everybody who was in the trade room yesterday to basically not even place any trades. We tried a trade off the OPL as the market failed down into it yesterday at some point, and then we tried a short off the back end of the OPL yesterday, but nothing seemed to work. So, of course, every day is not going to be a perfect trading day, and it would be unrealistic to expect the market to be a perfect trading environment for you to make money every single day of the year. So potentially for the next day and a half until we get the FOMC announcement, it could continue to be fairly ambivalent and two-sided here. The one thing I do want to bring up for this morning is we do have consumer confidence and new home sales 30 minutes after the open at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. So that would be the only other thing that could potentially get a little bit of some volatility into the market here this morning, unless some major news happens, globally. Um, I think that's it until we get that FOMC announcement tomorrow. I don't really plan on trading, given the way the market looked in the overnight session here, just literally chopping in many instances in like a little 5-6 point range. And given what happened yesterday, I'm not really too keen on placing a bunch of trades this morning. But if things start to open up and we get some clear signals off some good levels, then we'll try them. But probably going to be pretty quiet here in the trade room until we start to get some type of direction. So that's basically it. Enjoy, guys. Have a great morning, and we'll obviously be back tomorrow to get ready for the FOMC announcement. So until then, have a great day. Take care.